think too much and feel too little.
Gus German here wants to adopt the country. Oblige him.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
What did they put in your kibble this morning?
Georges, let me rock you.
Why do you suppose I just hurled a chair at your head, Neiman?
Why so serious?
This is the guy behind the guy behind the guy.
We are so lucky to have her on the program with us. She's Senator Karin Housley. She is the guy behind the guy behind the guy who's going to let us know exactly what's going on with this whole bonding thing. Senator, how are you?
I am great. I was just telling you leading in, but I'm just going to warn everybody. They're replacing my roof. They started at 6 a.m. this morning, and it is so loud. And then they just took a little reprieve, and I was like, okay, I can do Al from the kitchen. I may have to do Al from the basement in a few.
No, it'll be fine. You got to do that sort of thing. It's supposed to. I don't know how warm it's going to get where you're at, but I'm looking at a 90-degree day today and windy. I mean, yeah. I don't want to be on a roof. I don't want to be on your roof. That's for sure.
I wonder how fast. My husband's like, they can't be done in a day. And I was like, well, if they start at flipping 6 a.m., I think they can be done in a day. We don't have that big of a house.
It's such a young man's game. They can do so much. You'll be way impressed. These guys come in, all the old roof is gone, and all of a sudden the paper's down. And it's amazingly how quick these guys work. Not what I want to talk about today, though.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm telling you, I'm a very popular person today. Everybody wants to know about this bonding bill. I already did WCCO this morning. They've got 2 more radio shows after you.
Aren't you all that and then some?
You know what? Finally, somebody's talking to somebody in the minority, and it's today.
Well, yeah, because it's kind of important. And to be quite honest, the daily agenda today starts out with their 2 sources of why we're not done yet, the tax bill and the bonding bill. And this is my point to Blois. We don't have to have a bonding bill. This is not our bonding session. So why is that one of the things that's holding us up? And I said, is it because to get people on the tax bill to go along, well, I need a little something, something. It's called horse trading. I'm not ripping it, but I might need my water treatment plant. If you get me that, then I can vote this way. Is that why this bonding bill's so big this year that we have to get it done? Your thoughts? You've been on it. I mean, am I oversimplifying it?
No, that's kind of it, not totally it. So the way our state was set up is that whoever is in the minority, this is the only bill that they have any say on, because you can't just pass a bonding bill with a simple majority. You can't pass a 34-33. You have to get 41 votes. So they need 7 Republican votes to vote for it. Republicans traditionally aren't big on borrowing $1 billion to go pay for little pet projects. And you saw what happened in
23.
They they spent through the roof, and it was horrendous. So, that we still have that taste in our mouth, but we're in the minority, and nobody includes us on any of these leader deals. Johnson didn't sign any leader deal. Senator Leader Murphy in the Senate hasn't come to Johnson and included him in any of these conversations. She hasn't said, could you help me out on this? Nothing. So number one, this isn't a bonding year. Those are in the even years. So it's a bonding bill. And number 2, they need us, yet they don't want us. So it's like, okay, and we really could get a bonding bill done, and we really want to get one done, a good bonding bill, a clean bonding bill. But when you're pretty much just like locked in the closet and nobody even lets you out, you're like, okay, well, good luck to you. So
one man's clean as another man's dirty. Let's talk about that. As I understand it, tell me how wrong I am. Republicans are looking somewhere around $750,000, and as I understand it, devil in the details, water treatment, roads, bridges, and that's what you mean by clean, right? Just literally infrastructure kind of deals. The other side, where it gets a little muckety, is they're looking over $1 billion is what they would like. And are you saying that includes some pet projects, some things that aren't just infrastructure? What is it that would dirty that up for you?
Well, we have come to an agreement. Like I said, we've been working a lot together. And when Erin Murphy last week threw me under the bus, yeah, she said Senate Republicans aren't engaging on this bonding bill. And I was like, are you flipping kidding me? I just drove 3 hours from the lake to St. Paul to have a nothing burger meeting, and then turned around, went back to the lake, and went, we are here working. We did agree, and we've been working throughout session. We've been working, like I told you, every Friday morning we would have a meeting. But we've all agreed on $700 million and no special projects. I mean, there is HEAPR, which is asset preservation for any state-owned buildings, which the University of Minnesota, Min State, the Minnesota Zoo, one of them. We've got Department of Corrections. We've got those kind of things that our buildings are now 50 years plus and they're in critical condition. But how much do you actually give to the University of Minnesota when sometimes your philosophy is way different? And another thing is, shouldn't our agencies have these maintenance costs in their budgets already? Why do they have to state
wait till it's all
right? Like we don't get to do that as homeowners. Like when you're getting your roof replaced, now that better be in your budget. Every 20 years, you're going to need a new roof. But so we did agree on 700 million. And so we are right now just waiting for a global deal that the Senate Republicans are included on. And then we can get the bonding bill done. But if nobody wants us as part of this deal, you're not going to get 7 votes from 7 Republicans.
All right. So is this bonding bill then you're saying has to be a part of this deal? Or, I mean, is the state going to shut down? I get the tax thing. We'll talk about the tax thing. I get that. It has to be a part of this whole thing to balance budgets, whatever. But the bonding does it. But that is your only say. So if we're going to get a deal, will it include bonding then? It has to include bonding is what you're saying?
Well, I know the Democrats want it really, really badly, and the governor wants it really, really badly. And again, Republicans can take it or leave it because this is not a bonding year. This is a budget.
Yeah.
So if they want it so badly, then come and talk to us because you need us. But they don't want to talk to us. So if a bonding bill doesn't get done, it's because Democrats did not want to work across the aisle with Senate Republicans because we're here ready to work and get it done, and they're not coming to us.
Then let's look at the other side quick. The tax is the other one they're saying is the tax bill is the other thing that's holding things off. Is that, and can you bust that down for me? The Republicans said no more taxes, no new taxes, caveat, marijuana. But the other side, I presume, is looking to tax another $6 billion to even us out. Are we roughly in that? Is that what we're looking at for the tax bill? Do you know?
And I'm not on that conference committee, so we're having caucus today at 9:15. I heard the Democrats caucus last night for 2 hours and they didn't come to any consensus, so which makes a special session even less likely to happen this week. But I hear there are some big hangups, right? Republicans say no new taxes, and then Democrats, to pay for the $6 billion deficit going forward. How are they going to do that? So they really want to tax. But the thing is, anytime you let the Democrats tax, it's a permanent tax. It goes on forever. And then they just spend it. It just moves to a new bucket and they spend it somewhere else, which is the other thing. When we had the $18 billion surplus, all of these things that they're coming to us right now that they have to have. Why didn't you use your $18 billion on your asset preservation for the University of Minnesota or the zoo or Department of Corrections? There's a Bureau of Criminal Apprehension in Mankato that the governor really wants. So they had this $18 billion surplus, spent it on.
They had to give it to a lot of those NGOs out there. Those NGOs are doing fabulous work in Minneapolis, stopping crime. Let me ask you this, and boy, I hope this isn't it, but part of this is now you may get laid off in a month. Notes went out. I don't know how many people that actually will affect because those budget processes that are done, I know the prisons are going to be funded, so those guys will still get paid. I don't know how many people that'll actually affect, but those letters went out. You're saying, and so did the agenda, that's probably not going to get a deal by this week because they're so far off. Well, we're only 2 weeks away from Senator Mitchell's trial getting underway. Is that a factor in all this? I'm going to be honest, if we're playing this game to wait her out until she goes to trial, that bothers me quite a little bit. But that has to be something we're talking about. If you're not done in 2 weeks, one of the senators leaves. Now the state Republican senators have an extra chair at the table, if you will. It's even now. Does that change everything?
We don't figure that into our equation because that is, Senator Nicole Mitchell, she's done it once already. She's postponed her trial, which I'm guessing that's what she would do again, unless the judge is so frustrated with her that he won't do it. Maybe it's factoring in on the Democrats' side, going, we have to get this done by June 15th because we're going to lose her as a voting member. But we would never, that is like, you in hockey, you lose a game. And so you're where you are in the standing. So you can end up playing the second place team instead of the first place team.
Yeah.
We wouldn't maneuver a
Okay.
Nicole situation. No, absolutely
All
not.
right.
Although if it happens, it would be, I think that's how we deal with it. We see what happens and then we deal with it. So,
Okay. And that's fair enough.
Can
What's
you-
that?
Can you
No,
hear-
you can't. No, I can't hear it at all. No.
Good. Okay.
But that's good. I'm glad that that's what you said. The interesting thing to me was Governor Walz Thursday, Friday said he's feeling very confident we will get this done by the end of June before the government shuts down. Is that setting the bar a little low? We've already had, I don't know how many Wednesdays we're going to be done. Does that give you any feeling of confidence that he's really sure we got 3 more weeks, we can get this done?
Well, one thing that the Democrats have done is they keep setting these fake deadlines. It was like last Wednesday at 5 o'clock, and it was Thursday at 8 o'clock, and it was like, okay, forget that. But there is a real deadline of June 30th. It has to get done by them, or there is government shutdown. I think, the pink slips have already gone.
Wow.
So, it's happened before where there was a government shutdown, but there's some bills that have already been passed, and those can continue. And those agencies can get funded. But there's a real deadline of June 30th. So we have to get it done by then, but I don't think it'll be this week.
All right, fair enough. Let's go to break. We'll come back. We've got more with Senator Karin Housley.
All the special interests are represented in St. Paul. But who speaks for you? Center of the American Experiment does. Our policy fellows dig into the tough issues that matter to you and offer common sense solutions on education, taxes, crime, and energy. American Experiment is the trusted, nonpartisan voice of Minnesotans like you. We are working every day to make Minnesota a better, safer, more prosperous place. We are American Experiment. Go to americanexperiment.org to learn more.
Achieving your financial goals requires individual planning and a comprehensive approach. At Midwest Money Management, our mission is to provide you with the knowledge, tools, and confidence to feel comfortable financially today and secure about tomorrow. Learn more at MidwestMoneyManagement.com. That's MidwestMoneyManagement.com.
Securities offered through JW Cole Financial Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through JW Cole Advisors Inc. Midwest Money Management and JW Cole Financial Inc. and JW Cole Advisors Inc. are unaffiliated entities.
in alligator. L also in alligator. But it's not alligator. It's the Al Travis Show.
And we've got her. She's Senator Karin Housley on the program with us. Senator, I find a couple of things our governor doing currently interesting. He was out in South Carolina and California this weekend, presumably testing the presidential waters. Do your thing. I don't have a problem with it. But it seems like he doesn't understand that the internet works or how it works, because he's out there ripping on Elon Musk for only finding $175 billion in waste, and it wasn't the trillion he wanted. And I'm thinking, he got a $600 million right here in the state. How can a guy with the problems we have in fraud in the state of Minnesota be out on a national level ripping a guy who took no money and found $170 trillion in like a month?
I think even the Democrat-leaning newspapers or blogs are saying he's completely tone deaf, because, look in the mirror, Governor Walz. You got $600 million of fraud right here under your watch. But no, you're gallivanting off to South Carolina and California and ripping on Elon Musk finding $175 billion. So come on. That's the other thing. Here we are back here trying to get these budget bills done, and he's off whatever in other states with, testing the waters for his presidential. Yeah. Good luck with that. And I hear the reception that he's getting isn't that great either. But again, that's just me reading my stuff, my friendly newspapers.
Your insider stuff.
Get your butt back here and maybe sit down with your Democrats so they can get all on the same page, because it's in complete disarray over there right now. But
would you believe he was a little surprised as he's giving the speech on a Thursday saying we've got the budget thing figured out, had all the management there, and as he's saying it, the door starts knocking in the back? Do you think he might, and they're yelling and screaming, do you think possibly he might have misread his own room and now he's a little scared to come back?
Right. Maybe if he spent more time in his own room, he could read it. Yeah. But instead, he's reading the South Carolina Democrats and California and giving Gavin Newsom some jabs over there in California. So, if he spent more time here in Minnesota reading the room, maybe we could have gotten this done. Maybe if he would have gotten the House Democrats to show up for work on day one instead of missing almost a month of work, we could have had this done on time. And I have to tell you, it's very frustrating when everybody, all 201 legislators and the staff at the Senate, everybody has their lives planned. Senators and legislators had kids' graduation parties. People had vacations. A couple of our senators had to have a surgery. All this stuff is scheduled. And no, the governor's just off flitting about and, complete disregard for everybody's lives back here. Not that it's all about us, but come on.
Well, no, you got to plan your lives. Of course you do. Let me throw this out as far as the waste goes. Here's what really disappoints me so far about this whole legislative session. Right after the Dems came back, the House Republicans put up a bill that said if you work for the state of Minnesota and you suspect fraud, you must turn it in. That was voted down by a party line vote. The Democrats said, no, we're not going to make people turn fraud in. Then you get your own Senator Gustafson, a Democrat, put together this bill with Republicans, and it's about a new Office of Inspector General that would not be independent, that they could just go squash this stuff. I love this plan. 60 senators said yes. 7 said no. I don't know who those knuckleheads are. Anyway, it goes to the House. Party line vote. It is voted down again. Can you explain to me one reason in the world there are 67 House members that don't want that accountability, and why?
Well, because then they can't get away with all of this fraud. That's the only reason. And I hope when people go to vote again, because Senator Gustafson worked really hard with Senator Macroon and bicameral and bipartisan in the House too. So they all came together and they worked so hard on that all session long. And it was a good bill. Wasn't everything Republicans wanted, but it was a really, really good bill, and Heather worked really hard on that. So to have her own people over in the House vote down what they just worked on, a bill for accountability for fraud in our state, and they're like, no, we don't want that. I have no idea. I would like to get one of them. I would actually like them to answer why they voted.
Well, and this is so for folks. So you have the committees, they get together, like say Guston got together with the House people. So there were Democrats making that bill as good as whatever it was. There were Democrats who were in that. They then took it to the House, and those same Democrats voted no on the bill they worked on. They had to. It went down 67-67.
Oh, yeah. So those same Democrats did vote it down. Yeah, I know. Why? I don't get it.
I had one representative, one senator said that it was because Governor Walz doesn't want it. He doesn't. He thinks that if you went in there and did this inspector general with no holds bar, we'd find how little help was done, how little was done to stop it. And I think that's what this senator was saying. Maybe that's true, but does he go out of his way to call these representatives and say, you can't do this to me? Or there's something else there, and I don't understand it. None of this makes sense to me.
Well, that could be a horse trading thing, too.
Yeah.
One of them said, I want illegal immigrants to continue to get help, so I will vote this down if you stick with me over here. But again, if Governor Walz were in the room, then he would have had it taking the temperature of the room, and he wouldn't have those people banging down the door while he's doing his press conference.
When I heard the banging, I'm like, uh-oh, the Republicans are ticked. You go open the door, it's all Democrats. It was Twilight World. I got to go. We're out of time. Senator, love having you on. Thanks for taking time between your busy radio day. Thanks for being here.
See you.
Appreciate you, Senator Karin Housley on the Al Travis Show.